Besides my own personal experiences in sales, I recently had an opportunity to spend time with 21 of the top producing salespeople in the United States. See, what I was doing is I was working on my book, Getting In and Getting Out, and I realized over the years that there was a big difference between a top producer and an average producer or a low producer. And I also noticed that if the low producer or the middle range producer were to watch the top producer, watch everything they did, how they worked, how they planned, how they answered objections, everything they did, they may not be a top producer, but the gap would be smaller. Do you all agree with me? And then I also said, what can I do in a book that would be different than any other book out there? I went to Barnes & Noble, and I went to Amazon.com, and I saw book after book after book after book written by one person with one person's opinion. And I said, what if I were to take several people's opinions, put them together in a book, and really study what the top producers are doing? And that's a lot of what our conference is about today, later. But I found there were 4 main characteristics of top producers. And what I'd like to share with you is those main characteristics today. The first is they had an extremely high positive mental attitude. A very, very high positive mental attitude. The second is they wanted to live a balanced lifestyle. Yet it was really interesting that many of these folks didn't have a plan. And that got me thinking. The third is their time management and planning skills were incredible. And the last is they were extremely efficient with their goal setting. So what I'd like to do now is dig in and really spend some time in these 4 areas. And as Ron said earlier today, some of the things I'm going to share with you today, you're going to go, I already know that. And some of the things I'm going to share with you today, you're going to go, you know, I used to do that, but it's been a while. Thanks for reminding me. And I also think you're going to pick up a few things in the next hour that you're going to go, wow, I think I want to try that. There's an old expression that says when the student is ready, the teacher appears. How many of you in this room are ready to make more money this next year? Now, I've been very blessed to be a top producer my whole life. And I sometimes maybe am not the most easiest to deal with. So when I went out and traveled with these people, I thought I'd run into a lot of PITAs. Do you all know what a PITA is? Pain in the what? You guys know what I'm talking about. And when I actually got out there and spent time with these folks, I was actually quite surprised. They weren't that way. Most of them had what we call, and write this on your paper please, an extreme high BBF. BBF. And what BBF stands for is bounce back factor. A top producer saw if they had a problem, they dealt with it and bounced right back. If a sale they thought they were going to get didn't come through, they bounced right back. If they had a problem at home in their personal life, with their friends, a financial situation, they dealt with it quickly, and what did they do? Bounced right back. Do you agree with me that's important? See, they didn't get what we call the plum disease. In case you don't know what the plum disease is, the plum disease is poor little old me. You may know some people at home that have that. Let me go ahead and explain. Carolyn Smith's a young lady that I worked with for several years at Great American Opportunities. And Carolyn was a wonderful lady and worked in Southern California in Orange County. And Carolyn was really excited this one year about a fundraising gig that she picked up. See, our typical account would be about $5,000. Carolyn this one year had an athletic program that was $20,000. So you all can take your average sale and times it times 4. And would that get most of you excited? Absolutely. So every time we'd talk, Carolyn would tell me, Gary, I'm really excited about this athletic department I'm going to run this year. $20,000 program. And we talked about it for 4, 5, 6 months. Then one day in the fall season, Carolyn called me. She said, Gary, we got a little problem. I said, what's that? She said, you remember that athletic program I'm supposed to run this fall? Well, I called them this evening, and the guy said, oh, Carolyn, I'm glad you called. I've been meaning to call you. Now, in sales, what does that mean? Not good. So she was just calling to confirm up the fundraiser for the next day, and the guy didn't get it properly approved, and so Carolyn found out she was going to lose a $20,000 sale. Big deal for her, a big part of her season. So she called me up and she said, Gary, I've got a game plan. I lost this account. I'm kind of bummed out, but I got a game plan to fix it and make it better. And what I'm going to do tomorrow, since I have a full day now, is I'm going to get on the phone real early, 7 in the morning. I'm going to work till 6 o'clock at night. I'm going to set 10 appointments, and instead of booking $5,000 programs, I'm going to try to book $10,000 programs. So if I can book 10 appointments with $10,000 average account apiece, I'll get in front of $100,000 in business. And if I close half of them, I signed up 50,000 but lost 20,000. Now, would you all take that? Would you all deal with that if that was your situation? Sure. And so Carolyn said, Gary, I'm really open now. I'm vulnerable. As you always say, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Teach me. What do I have to do tomorrow to really have that positive mental attitude? Because I don't want to break down at 10 in the morning. I said, okay, Carolyn, get your pen ready. And there's 5 things, and I'm going to go through those with you today.